Check me out. Yeah.
Hey, podcast listening people, how are you today? Really grateful for you checking out the podcast. Thank you so much. Please do us this tiny favor before you leave today. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. We are on all your favorite podcast listening platforms. Subscribe and make sure you leave a review. Very simple. Leave us a 5-star review. If you found the podcast valuable, you think other people would as well, just know when you leave reviews, it makes it so other people can discover it as well. So very much appreciate you for that. Have a great episode for you today. If you don't know, my name's Connor Dube. I am the host each and every single episode. And what's unique about today's episode is I get to pull in the man behind the scenes, Julius Hinton, every 10 episodes, every 10 episodes or so. Both of us sit down, just reflect, talk about what's going on with life, talk about the podcast, behind the podcast, which is what we're doing today, and just even talk about some of our thoughts about the guests, some of the information they've shared, and things like that, which every 10 episodes, we were even talking about this. Why do we do this every 10 episodes? I don't know, but that's generally what we've done in the past. And if you like it, if you want us to do more, let us know. If you like the podcast, behind the podcast, give us a shout. And make sure wherever you see us on social media, tag us, let us know you're listening. We'll repost you, we'll reshare you. We use Instagram quite a bit. Facebook, you can find us on our personal pages, Connor Dube and Julius Hinton. Will make sure we drop some links in the description. Before we get to the podcast, real quick, if you have guests that you recommend for the show, you want to collaborate, sponsor the podcast, partner up in one way or another, okay, all you need to do, send us an email, milehighmentors@gmail.com. We really appreciate the numbers of you that have reached out so far, who have listened, given us heads up about events coming up, guests, asked us to do interviews on your platforms. We really appreciate it. So again, you can just continue to hit us at milehighmentors@gmail.com, or you can just shoot us a DM, send us, slide on into the DM, send us a message. We'll respond to you there as well. Also, we have a great resource for you, okay? So if you're a business owner, marketer, sales leader, and whether, again, you're in a nonprofit, whether you're in a multi-million-dollar company or startup, the missing pieces in order to grow your business the way that you're supposed to, that you should, is two things. It's reaching enough of the right people, and consistently being able to stay in front of them, okay? And one of the best platforms to accomplish this, which a lot of people kind of overlook, is LinkedIn. So our partners over at activeblogs.com actually have a free, no cost to you training called the Missing Links to LinkedIn Success. It is a free resource that you can go watch and learn how to take advantage of the reach and the consistency that LinkedIn provides for you. Check that out at activeblogs.com/webinar, activeblogs.com/webinar. Again, folks, really appreciate you listening in. Make sure that you give us a shout. Make sure you post about the podcast. Let us know you're listening. We see you listening. Now give us a holler. And without further ado, please welcome, Julius and I to Podcast Behind the Podcast.
The podcast behind the podcast. You know what we're talking about.
Tell them what we're doing.
Oh, man. Every 10 episodes, Connor pulls me out of this dark dungeon where he keeps me to record and keep producing this podcast. And we have a conversation just about the last 10 episodes, what we've learned, how life has grown. And it's always exciting. I don't really know where the conversations always go, so you got to hold on tight. Got to strap your seatbelts in. But, yeah, that's what we're doing today. I'm excited for this. I know you're excited for this.
Always excited. Dude, I look forward to these every 10 episodes. I try to get through 10 episodes so we can get to the podcast behind the podcast, because it's a good time. We just get to sit, chat, share a little bit about stuff we've learned, been working on, seen, observed, reflecting, being able to reflect on the guests that we've had down here before. And
it's almost like a life benchmark. Like if you go back and listen to all the podcasts behind the podcast, and you guys have seen where we've grown from the first one, it's been pretty special,
Yeah, just the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And we can't do it without you listening to this, sharing our post on social, hitting us up on Instagram, emailing us. We really appreciate you guys. I mean, we've just, we're still learning, still trying to figure this thing out. There's, this thing's evolved drastically since we started it.
For sure.
Sorry, we ate like 5 bags of gummies really while we're working. Now my stomach's like, you're going to throw a Perrier right on top of that thing. On top of that, aren't you?
But no, yeah, seriously. That's why it really is something that I look forward to, though, man, because I'm just talking about the growth that we've gone through. It's been special these last 2 years, and to just reflect on it. And even the people that we've gotten to talk to, and just the knowledge, the jewels that have been dropped. And yeah, it's a thing that we're still learning. We're still perfecting it. We got some things that we're working on for 2020 up our sleeves, but I think it's time to kind of dive into it, man.
Oh, so we didn't start yet?
No. Let's go.
Oh, we just started. Okay. Got it. That was all foreplay. Why don't we talk about this? What do you feel like has changed most in your life since we did the last podcast behind the podcast, which, looking at it...
Yeah, you want to give me a date on that one? Let's see.
May 20th, 2019 was the last podcast behind the podcast.
Oh, man. What has changed since May? Well, I think a lot of people know that me and you have collided forces for Active Blogs. Yep. I joined the dark side. I'm with them. We did it.
Yeah, that was since then. That was almost that was almost a month after we did the last show.
Yeah, it was, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, special. But then since then, since May, I don't even know, man.
I think one thing that we have to acknowledge is life took over a lot since you came into the business. There's so much going on. The rate at what we've put podcast out, unfortunately, in the last 6 months has been slow, and far and few in between, but we're putting them out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like net, we're consistent and we've consistently been doing this thing, but there's so much that's that's why it's like where do you even start, really, right? And that's what's so just kind of challenging about it, and reflecting about it, because we had you come in, Yeah,
it's been a lot of life changes. Yeah, you're spot on with that one, because it's like all the things that have happened in life, as far as for me, I'm really just speaking on as far as because I'm a family man now. I got a kid, got a girl. Got a new job, I'm trying to do that whole adult thing, the adulting. But just with the kid in my life, and now he's almost 2, it really just set everything in stone as far as my priorities and like what's A, what's B, what's C. And that's been, it's always kind of been like that since he was born last year. But now that he's interacting and going to daycare and, having play dates and, all that kind of shit, it's like, okay.
It's getting real.
It's getting real. And that's, speaking to the inconsistency of the show, that's one thing that I feel now that I'm finally trying to get a good balance of. I can see like, all right, these are the dates that I know I can do some stuff. These are the days that I know I got to dedicate to the fam. But let's see what I can do with this, and let's see what I can do with this time. How can I optimize and maximize that to move things forward? And that's 2020 has been fun so far. I'm really excited for it. I'm really humbled by, I guess, since the last podcast on the podcast, since the end of 2019, I would say it was also humbling just to kind of, like I said, put my priorities straight, put myself to the side, put my goals and my dreams aside, because got a little man now, does that. But doesn't mean the dreams are dead. Doesn't mean the dreams are over. Doesn't mean you're stopping. You got to find ways to keep pushing, keep taking action, which is something that we all.
How do you do it?
I don't sleep, man. I mean, just keep it real. And sleep's for the birds, man. I mean, I'll wake up every day probably by 5:30. I would say I'm going to sleep probably by 12:31. So, yeah.
Is when JJ goes to bed?
No, that's when I go to bed.
Oh, you are you are a night owl for sure. I mean, you do stuff late. Like, my brain stops working after, I could maybe push it to 9:30, 10. So that's why I'm always working all the time. Cause like I can't crank past those hours. I'm not functional. I can do stuff, but nothing that's like very productive, I would say.
Right.
My brain starts to wind down after that. Cause I start rolling at, 5:30. And that's my choice. I don't know.
Yeah, see, like my kid, he puts like a break in it. That's what's kind of refreshing. Like after work, it's just like no work whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so then he goes to sleep. I'm like, well, what about work?
Yeah.
And then I'm up to 12:30.
Sneaks back in there. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been a wild past 6 months. I mean, this podcast, for those of you that are listening to this, is we run it like a business, but it's not our bread and butter business. We got careers and all this stuff, and I think we both came to realize, like, actually our careers excel when we're doing the podcast, and so 2020, we've changed some things in how we're going to schedule. I think that's going to help us.
Want me to answer it? What?
Yeah. Someone's calling in. What do you mean?
It's my brother. You guys don't want to hear those conversations.
So if you guys want to call into the show, call.
If they know me, they don't want to hear those conversations.
Yeah. So what else is going on?
Love you, bro. But yeah, man, just visions. I'm having a lot of visions. I think that's kind of like cliche, to say in 2020.
Have you seen a doctor for that?
Yes, I have.
This is happening during the day. Maybe it's lack of sleep.
Yeah, I'm calling them visions, and I'm just hallucinating.
You're seeing visions.
No, but
Julius, who are you talking to?
You said that earlier today, actually.
I did?
Yeah, when you were on the headphones.
You were on the couch talking to yourself. I'm like, well, because I had headphones in, so I was like trying to be respectful, and like if you're talking to me,
what it is I'm getting
acknowledge you're talking to me. So
I'm just getting used to the AirPod life. I didn't see your AirPods. I didn't see any cord. I was like, oh, he's listening.
When your AirPods are black, like that doesn't help your case at all. Like at least the majority are white, and yours, they just go in your ear, and I'm like, I don't even notice that you had them in that time.
Yeah, I love them too. Really makes you think what the CIA must have if we got AirPods.
Oh, they have.
They have some
chips in their brains,
some top notch shit.
But I was reading. Actually, Mark sent this to me the other day about Bluetooth and radio frequencies, like radio waves, that basically you're just basically putting a microwave in your ear. So I try to do some things to mitigate it. I can't. We don't know what the effects of technology on us are yet.
No.
Think of AirPods. Like, that is literally a frequency coming from your phone that is right next to your brain that's there. And it's emitting microwaves. Like, there's no way around it. Your phone is emitting radiation. Your AirPods, your Bluetooth, I'm sorry guys, are emitting radiation.
Plus Wi-Fi.
I shut my phone on airplane mode every night. Because I sleep with my phone. I use it. I don't sleep with it, but I keep it
all nice and cuddled tight next to you.
I've passed out on my phone before. But I put my phone at least several feet away from me, and I turn on airplane mode because it really affects your sleep. It, without you even realizing it, the radio waves coming into your room, the Wi-Fi coming into your bedroom affects your body.
Wow.
It's blasting your body with radiation. Your phone in your pocket right now is blasting you with radiation. That's why I never put my phone up to my ear. I always either do on speakerphone or headphones.
Well, I just feel like you're screwed because now headphones are Bluetooth and in your ear. Now you have that issue.
That's the thing.
It's just like...
It's almost impossible...
Pick the lesser of two.
It's almost impossible to avoid, but you can mitigate it. I kind of went back to doing wired as much as I can after I just started, you know how Mark is. My dad, Mark's my dad, those of you listening, and he works in our company. He's the founder of the company.
Yeah.
And I came in and partnered up with him a couple years ago, and then
What's up, Mark?
Julius in, and I almost said Julius.
Julius.
What was that about?
Yeah.
And he is really on top of that stuff. You know, he's always researching. He's very on top of his health, kind of like me. You know,
right.
I'm doing
That's where you get it from.
Red light therapy and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I try to be very conscious as I can about it. But it's impossible to avoid because this is where technology is going.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, it kind of reminds me of like when the microwave first came out. The type of talks people must have been having, like, "Oh my God, the microwave's going to give you cancer." It's kind of
but that's like different. You're taking the microwave and putting it in your effing ear. It's at a different frequency, but it is a microwave. It literally emits microwaves.
Yeah,
so there's been an increase in cancer and cancer in the back of the brain and cancer in like in your nodes and all that stuff. I mean, there's a number of reasons behind this, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see Apple CEOs walking around with AirPods all day long. That's all I'm saying.
Tim Cook, holler at us.
I don't see.
We can let us know when you're in Denver, Tim.
Steve Jobs died of cancer.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Yeah. I don't know how to top that one. No.
So it's been fun. It's been fun, guys. I mean, Julius and I have worked together. Now we're, making money together and really taking and revolutionizing the way that companies are marketing themselves. You know, our theme of 2020 is amplifying your brand. You know what I mean? Like, when we break it down, what we really do is help these very, very complex industries amplify their brands.
You want to talk to them about what we're going to be doing to amplify this brand?
Mile High Mentors?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's more than one thing. Wait, so what are you referring to?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Going down that street where there's a bunch of things.
Well, I've wanted forever to put together a 2-day event, like a live conference. So we are, and we've announced this, we've talked about this before, we're actively working on this. It's a lot. It's like, are we going to pull it off this year? Are we going to, have to bump it to early next year? My only thoughts are, especially because it's an election year this year, and I think stuff's going to happen around election time. I don't, It's
really noisy out there when election year.
Yeah.
How those go. I'm sure we all do, but yeah. Those election years are tough, man. I've worked really hard in some election years, and like, there's nothing like going door to door.
Oh, that's different.
When Obama was canvassing, or running for president, and I was canvassing. That was some interesting times. But I mean, yeah, it really does get noisy. But I think what we're offering might be a good refresher, and it's all about moving the needle forward. That's all. That's all what it's about, man. We gotta just keep pushing, inch by inch, yard by yard. But it all counts, and that's the thing that everybody's got to remember. We got to remember it ourselves. You know what I mean? It's, we've done a lot of work to get that thing going. So we just got to stay at it.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah.
Consistency. You only fail when you give up, when you stop.
Facts.
That's the only time people fail.
Yeah, facts.
Look at everyone we've talked to and interviewed. Who's had immense success that would say otherwise through all the adversity.
Yeah, if you've never failed, then I don't really believe you succeeded. And that's kind of where it comes from. You got to know what the bottom feels like to know what the top even is, right? That's what I think. I mean, that's kind of what I've been learning, and that's our guests have been echoing that. I know we asked that to almost all of our guests. Maybe I'll even put a little montage together, just some of our guests answering that question. But what's been your biggest failure, and what have you learned from it? I know a lot of people, nobody likes talking about their failures, right? Nobody wants to go on like a 5-minute podcast rant about how they like sucked in life at one point. But at the same time,
now me, I don't mind. I'll do it. I don't really care.
Boy, 2015.
Well,
no. But I think that's just something really valuable. If you guys can, if you're going back through our podcast and you're listening to some of this stuff and you hear that question being asked, perk your ears up and really, understand what these guys are saying, because it's not really the first time that you're going to face adversity that you're going to succeed. Might not be the third or fifth time that you do it. It might be the ninth. You have to stay at it. And some of those guys have, started businesses, sold businesses, started businesses, sold businesses, and then they got the business that they're, very passionate about and, want to do forever. So that's just, testament to the value of what we're trying to bring you guys, because I feel like we've all been there. We're telling you right now that we're there, and we can still pull strength back on from some of those episodes, and I encourage you to do the same.
I like adversity. Like think of I mean, even towards the end of Q4 of the business, like so many things changing, so many different challenges, but if those things don't occur, then and you don't overcome those, then it falls apart worse in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It without being able to overcome those challenges, when the real challenges happen, like how can you ever survive?
Yeah, seriously.
If you can't stand some little, mini baby faces. I mean, like, dude, I had to deal with a client quitting the other day. Yeah. This is a client that like just got started, and happens in every business, and some stuff went the wrong way, and it's like those are challenges.
Yeah.
But instead of being like, got to deal with these challenges, I'm like, okay, challenge, like just gonna face it head on and deal with it.
Yeah, it's all about getting over it, like you're saying. I mean, that's the exciting part. I think that's the exciting part, though, is the opportunity on the other side of adversity. Like I always tell people, confrontation's a good thing, because of what comes out of confrontation is usually the best thing. So a lot of people dread, like, oh, I don't want to have that conversation, or I don't want to, face that fact. Or
we've had some hard conversations. I mean, it's like nobody wants to do that,
right?
Especially with your friend,
right?
Your brother.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. But
your dad.
But to not do it, I'm telling you, it's a disservice, because the value that you get from doing it, some of the times, I mean, of course, there's arenas that are different.
Yeah.
Don't go out there and be physically harming anybody. That's not the confrontation I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about
good
confrontation of challenges. And honestly, I find myself, when there's times of adversity and in the moment it feels like shit, and there's like, I'm like, oh my God, how am I ever going to overcome this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the times where I find myself the most creative, is in those moments, because you got to innovate your way. Like, you're never going to just brute force your way out of a challenge. You are always going to be able to think your way out of a challenge.
Yeah.
Have you watched Lost in Space on Netflix?
No, I don't think so.
Did you ever watch Lost in Space, like the movies or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this is a little left field, but anyways, Lost in Space on Netflix is freaking awesome, by the way. If nobody's watched it, it's really, really cool.
All right.
But I'm a space nerd, like I like anything in space. And the Robinson family are in the most dire situation, like every episode, and like everything falls apart in like the worst possible way, and every episode goes the total opposite direction. And instead of panicking, freaking out, going into just panic mode, they always do. They take a step back, sit, and think, and innovate their way out of the challenge. And I'm like, whoa, that's cool. That's kind of what I've always had to do. And that's where I find myself in adversity. I find myself more creative. So it's like I almost kind of corner myself into bad situations sometimes. Like, hey, Connor, can you do this? Yeah, sure. Like, hey, Connor, we want you to do stand-up comedy. I'm like, all right. I committed to it without thinking about it, and then I innovated my way to make it happen and figure it out. You know what I mean? and I had to get creative.
Right.
Because I'm like, I have 4 weeks to do stand-up, and I've never done stand-up before.
So you got to figure out a way to get out there.
Yeah.
Huh. No, that's really good stuff, Connor. Good stuff right there, man. That's pretty unique. I mean, I definitely think I get creative when I'm faced with challenges, but I know I have a anxiety thing where it takes me a second to be like, this is happening, what the fuck's happening? And then I can get creative and figure it out. But that's you said Lost in Space, though? Sounds like it's from the 70s or something.
It was a show from the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And then they remade it. Netflix remade it. Did an awesome job. It's a dope show.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You should definitely check it out. I feel like you and Kelly would probably. I don't know. I don't know if Kelly would like it or not. But
I don't know. Kelly, if you're listening, go ahead and hit us up and let us know.
Save it on Netflix. But I love that. It's like, we're only bound by the limitations we put on our own brains. It's like a governor on your own brain. Everyone has a governor. You know what a governor is, right? Like a governor in your car keeps you at a certain so you can't go 150 miles an hour. It's a governor.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying that right. Governor?
Sounds right to me. I mean,
this is why we have the interwebs. Governor.
That's why we got our followers too. If you know if it's called the governor or not.
I can't see anybody. Yes. Governor is a speed limiter or controller, is a device used to measure and regulate the speed of a machine, such as an engine. So I always think about that.
I've heard of them.
And I feel my own governor many, many times, and everyone does. And it's like, the governor doesn't exist in this case. It's not real, but us as humans have that kind of weird condition to put that governor, I can't make more than $50K a year. That's all I'm able to do. Like, that's what I'm going to max out at.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a millionaire. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not for me.
I couldn't start a business. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's a governor.
Yeah, I can't stand that mentality. It's go time. And I really think, like, in 2020, I feel like everybody's got to know that anything's possible. Like, anybody, I saw this quote, and I'm trying to see if I can pull it out of my own brain here. It was like, anybody from anywhere can do anything, anytime. And I think that's just so true. Like, you can work from anywhere in the world. You can do, you can meet with somebody right now in, Australia or New Zealand from this very spot. Like, anything is possible right now. So, like, you really got to get rid of that governor. Like, it's time to, kill the governor. Like, take that thing off. If you want to go 150, be smart about it, but go. If you got a good idea, if you feel like you, know what the hell you're doing, I feel like it's time to go. 2020 is a time of action, and it's time to kind of go full throttle. You know what I mean? Like, it's not time to, hesitate and kind of decide whether I should. I feel like, no, you should pick what you want to do this year and go fucking hard on that. And then talk about it in 2021 and see if it, need to make adjustments. But, have some confidence.
You're always going to have to make adjustments. I think that's what people don't realize. That's where the innovation thing comes in, is like, people think when they see a business that's like stable and successful on the outside that's what it is. It's static. But like, dude, things are happening behind the scenes in companies and businesses. Amazon's on fire every damn day. I guarantee it. Every day.
Apple? Can you imagine what Apple must be like?
On fire every day.
Come out with a product and then it's like gone.
Yeah.
You're already on to the next one.
Problems, recalls, tech issues, like all this good stuff. But like, it doesn't matter if it's 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026 is like, you just got to get started. One thing I love in observing a lot of these big social media influencers who we are, anyone younger or anyone just kind of follows, You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know what you mean, son.
Dude, I think my wires literally just crossed for a second. It's like, and I've gone blind. And I've gone cross. Was that
Power down.
Austin Powers? And I've gone cross.
Yeah. I've gone cross up.
It's like did you see these dudes at like, and women too, you see these people who are like they're like in their late 50s or even mid 50s, and they're like, I'm just getting started, like I'm so young still, I'm just getting started, and here I am sitting at my age, and you know, you're definitely not a 40-year-old man yet.
Nope. Long ways away.
Although you broke the,
I broke 30. It's all right. I'm proud to be 30, man. 30's a new 20.
Yeah. Wait, so you're going to be 40 in 2030. And then you're going to be 50 in 2040.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
But you know what's even weirder is I am going to be 30 and wait. Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Oh boy.
And I've gone cross-eyed.
Yeah, right. And this is when you put the Ricky Bobby hands up.
But I love hearing that from people who are like, who you see at like, you're like, oh my God, that's the top, that's the ceiling, and those guys are even still like, I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? It gives you room to make mistakes and fuck up and not be perfect all the time.
That's just the way it's gonna go.
I like that.
Yeah. It's never too late to get started, and you can always do it today. But my only suggestion is this year, just go all in. Go fucking all in on it. Know you want to do it, you just do it. That one thing. I feel like every business owner, they're like, yeah, we're thinking about doing this or we're testing it. Do it this year.
I was doing yoga this morning, just to humble brag there, but because I'm a better person.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm a better person because I do yoga. In case you guys are wondering, I got a yoga mat. No. So what I was going to say is I was doing yoga this morning, and I did yoga the night before too, and I lifted the day before. And like my whole body is tired. And this morning, there's this, poses, and you're holding it and stuff like that, and I'm like shaking. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna drop. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna drop this hold because like my body can't hold me. Mm-hmm. It was too weak at that moment, and I'm like, no, like that's your physical body telling you that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just my physical body telling me that my physical body is gonna follow what my mind is telling me. I'm like, oh yeah, my breath. Remember the breath. Go back to the breath. And then I made it through the rest of the pose. And then moved on to the next one. And it's like...
mind over body.
It's like, when you say... Because you just said go all out. Now's the year to go all out. But
all in, but fair enough.
All in. Yeah, go all in. And again, I don't want to be that like motivational person, but like again... You're only you don't realize how much you can put in. Even me, even you.
Yeah.
The highest of high achievers, still are not maximizing themselves.
No.
I know. I
plenty
don't.
Of room. No. Yeah.
Even for how much I push for it, I know for damn sure I am not always at my max potential. That's scary. And cool at the same time.
That's life. That's what life's all about. It's always about the journey, man, to get there. And even if you get there, it's probably still more to do. So it's always just about the journey. I would say stop and smell the roses. Gotta stop and smell the roses. Because, before you know it, the trail's going to be over. It's time to go back down it or down the hill.
Yeah, true. Should we talk about some of these guests?
Yeah, let's jump into it because we had, who was the first? Was it The Bachelor?
It was Ben Higgins with
man.
Generous Coffee, which I'm just being transparent. People were weird when I said I was going to bring Ben on the podcast. I haven't watched The Bachelor, so I don't know. Maybe the guy wasn't nice, but like, dude, he was really cool and like really down to earth and really genuine. Yeah. Fun to talk to.
Really good conversation.
Great conversation.
Great interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got actually the opposite reaction. Told some people that he was coming on, and they were like, "Really?
Really?
When is he going to be there?"
Yeah.
Some people were trying to come down.
Well,
here.
I got that too. But there was a few, like a couple that messaged me and like, "Why are you bringing him on?" I'm like, I don't know, because he's an entrepreneur and he does gives back. He has a business with purpose that is contributing to society. Like,
yeah, seriously,
these are good things.
I think The Bachelor is. There's just been some things about that show that have come out, and I think
fake news.
No, real news.
Real news about the show.
Yeah, some like former producers actually made I don't know if it was like a sitcom or like a spin-off kind of a funny show off of the real Bachelor, but apparently they do a lot of those scenarios on purpose. It's reality TV, you know how that stuff's made. So it's a lot of that stuff going on, and I know people think it's really womanizing to have all those ladies fighting for one guy or vice versa. So
I saw a meme about that. It was like the show about guy who dates many women watched by women who hate guys that date many women that hate players.
That's exactly what it was.
Loved and adored loved and adored show viewed by women who also hate guys that do that in real life.
I don't know, but we love The Bachelor over here. That's all I could say. What, Ben's a Bachelor? We got Bachelor.
Oh yeah. Well, Ben's awesome. I love Ben. He's such a great guy. I definitely have him on the show again. I wish we had more time to do his podcast. This was like one of the shortest podcasts that we've ever done. Although I think you had to cut like a good 15 minutes off of it because of what we're diving into. I think you actually had to cut a bunch of it out of it.
Yeah, there was some filler that definitely was not for
when we got started. Yeah. Yeah.
So
but
some of it for sure.
Yeah, shout to you, Ben. You're shout to you, man. You're awesome. Yeah. Really enjoyed getting to talk to you. I think what were some of your takeaways on that one?
Really, I just love what he's doing with Generous Coffee. I mean, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure if he told us a percentage, but a lot of the proceeds go back directly to the community. I know I believe they were building facilities for the kids out there for to help and just help actually generate the entire business of Generous Coffee out there to make it a sustainable and economic factor in that region. So those kind of things I'm always trying to support. I even talked to my household, Kelly. Me and her had a conversation like this year. I'm fully behind those type of businesses. If I can buy a $20 t-shirt from Nike or a $20 t-shirt from there, I'm going to go ahead and get the Generous Coffee t-shirt because I know it's going to do more. So I just encourage everybody to support Generous Coffee, support what he's doing. Ben's a great guy. I'm not sure what you saw on TV, but don't believe it.
I don't even know. But one of my takeaways, one of my biggest things with Ben was, coffee business. You know what I mean? Like, I would not go into a industry that competitive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If I were to go start something tomorrow, it would not be coffee. It would not be sodas or drinks or the food market of any sort. That's so
tough market.
So competitive. But my point with that is the way he's positioned himself, the way the company gives back. I don't know their financials, but I know he's got employees and they're in business and they're moving and shaking from what I can tell. And so, with the right twist and innovation and story behind your brand, you can enter now imagine if you're in a non-competitive market and you're good with your story and your brand and your messaging and all the other things that have made them successful in such a competitive market. I mean, dude, coffee, like George Clooney is in coffee.
Everybody's.
You seen the Nestle? Is it Nestle coffee or
Nespresso?
Nespresso. Yeah. George Clooney.
But no, really, what I just kind of reminded me of refreshing. But I think everybody can take away.
You got The Bachelor and you got George Clooney. Yeah.
But no, seriously,
two good-looking dudes.
It's all about, everybody's.
I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up now.
But no, seriously, everybody's on storytelling, right? I think Ben is a perfect example for anybody looking to develop more storytelling about their brand or their product. I would click on that right away and kind of refresh that one on you, because he's doing an excellent job. Just the storytelling, even the way that he was telling the story, I thought was great, because it didn't seem like it was rehearsed. It was it felt real honest. Felt like a real. Oh, I mean, it is real what he's really doing. And I just think when people have a story to tell about your brand, it does really help you break through the noise versus the Nespressos and all the other coffees out there. Plus, it's got a good name. Right.
Also, something that comes to mind in Ben's case is some of those people, they go on television, they get a big audience, they get a bunch of exposure, and then they don't do anything with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been very strategic in building his following into multiple streams of income. So he's got partnerships with like Chase Bank. He, co-owns restaurants. He's got the coffee company.
He's got his podcast with iHeartRadio.
Makes money from that. And that probably wouldn't have netted in the way that it did, as quick as it did, without the exposure. I mean, let's be real. Like, do you really think you get those opportunities? And that's just testament to the fact that everybody can use more reach. Whether you're a nonprofit or a business or what you do, everybody could use more reach.
And personal branding. That just goes back to, that's where everybody's going. It's got to be about your personal brand. At the end of the day, like I said, separating Generous Coffee, going back to the story, it's Ben's personal brand really helping push that brand over the edge. And you have to consider that in every facet of life almost. And nowadays with social media and all the things out there, you really just have to leverage it to get it to be what you want it to be, instead of it taking off and either leaving you behind or becoming something that's a nuance or a nuisance to you.
Nuisance.
Yeah, I hate social media.
I get it. I got it. Who we got next? Who do you want to talk about next?
I'm
going to double check this just to make sure it's streaming.
Okay, yeah, it might have cut off. Yeah, it probably did. It's 5:42.
Nope, looking good.
Okay.
Is it really?
Yeah. But
peeps, join on in. Oh, I turned it around. There we go.
We still live?
We live.
We're live, baby. We're live. What happened to those guys?
Who that?
We live, baby. We live. You don't remember those guys?
No, who's that?
They were on the internet dancing everywhere. I don't know their names or nothing, but I'm sure the listeners know what I'm talking about. What happened to those guys? You guys don't know? Tell us.
Okay, let's talk about my man. Yeah, we got a short amount of time and a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
Paul Foley, great dude. Put together one of the coolest parties I've ever been to on a Tuesday.
It looked like it.
It was pretty.
It looked like some Great Gatsby type, but anyways.
It kind of was. It was really cool.
See Denver's Great Gatsby?
It was like a Tuesday night. Like, what am I doing with my life? Out here on a Tuesday. Anyways, so I'll start with you. What were your takeaways from Paul Foley?
Oh, man.
Colorado native, tech startup enthusiast, co-founder, sold tech startup Aguar to BounceX, has since turned his attention to investing in venture capital. He's created a new investment firm, Smart Capital, which creates portfolios of fast growth companies located in Colorado. He leads the largest startup community in Colorado, Colorado startups, as well as serves as RVC. I don't even know what that means. Member and Techstars chapter president.
My takeaways from Paul is he was much more down to earth than the reputation or the, whatever you call it, preceded him.
Most people aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you find that?
That's why I like doing the interview.
Celebrities, rappers, musicians, like...
It's really a facade, guys, to tell you the truth. Once you get them face to face, they're just like us. They put their pants on the same way.
Yeah.
But
well, maybe. I don't know. Like,
but no, Paul was
you could
just
do some pretty innovative things to put your pants on.
Interesting segue. But no, my takeaways from Paul Foley's episode was, like I said, his reputation preceded him. So I'm already like, wow, Paul's, he's kind of like that guy. Here we go. It's a really cool episode. This guy's, he's doing a lot of cool things, especially as a businessman or, young entrepreneur. You're looking at this guy like, wow, this is a guy I would like to know.
Well, I think Paul's young. I think he's in his early 30s.
Yeah. He's our age.
And, had some successful company exits, very, very well known.
Very well
connected here in Colorado. Their startup community on their Facebook page, I think, has like 10,000 members or something like that. Maybe even more than that. Might be much more than that, but really active. All around great guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. Paul, we need to just reminded me I need to hit you up because we got some business we gotta work on. We gotta collaborate on some stuff.
Yeah, especially for maybe even the conference too, and that'd be a nice live podcast to do too. I think with Paul.
Yeah,
I think you just got a lot of knowledge. I mean, guy's seen a lot. He's kind of helped with a lot and consulted with a lot, and a lot of just knowledge was kind of just spewing out of that guy's mouth for the whole lot. Well, 45 minutes, I think it was. Wasn't one of our longer ones. But.
No, it was an hour.
That was an hour?
It was an hour plus whatever you cut out of there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant about promoting VCs or angel investors because even those people are telling us what you and I have even talked about in past podcasts is people's perception of like, oh, I can't start a business because I don't know who's going to invest in my business, right?
Yeah.
Big misconception is like you start a business and then you find people to invest in your business. Dude, you start a business by selling stuff. Businesses are supposed to sell things.
Supposed to have a service and
believe it or not, product, service, you sell solutions that help people
that you've done.
So when it comes to the world of VCs, it's very sexy and people hear about these startups that get these $1 million fundraising rounds and all this good stuff. Dude, you're giving away pieces of your business and it doesn't matter. It's not even sustainable if you're not actually selling something. So even Paul, even Peter Adams, who we've had on, they've both mentioned this. Is like we generally don't look at a company unless they have a legitimate proof of concept. I'm like, what's proof of concept? Well, they generally have sold about 100K, 10K to 100K, depending on the product, innovation, and all that good stuff. And it's like, oh, they're looking for people who actually sell things.
Sold, yeah,
because they know it's sellable. It's not just a young startup founder who's trying to get cash quick by getting fundraising, like
because they had a nice website and stuff. That's a big thing I took away. I mean, venture capitalists. I mean, I highly respect those guys. It's almost a different language that they talk sometimes, which you learn a lot in that episode, guys. Highly suggest you go back and listen to it. But the biggest thing I can tell you is you don't really need to approach them. They're going to approach you, and you got to start selling, like Connor's saying. If you're not actually doing the business and making profit and, making those type of waves, they're not looking at you. And trust me, a lot of guys are probably hitting them up thinking, oh, invest in this business for this reason. And, those guys are very smart. They know exactly what they're doing. I've
studied this time and time again is these sexy startup companies get flushed with cash from investors and they burn through it because they don't know how to manage cash or they don't know the value of the cash in their business because they haven't actually sold in their business. So if anybody's sitting there thinking, what do I need to do to start a business? Create a product and service and sell it. Matter of fact, you really want to know the truth of how most people who are successful start a new business or start a new product? They sell it before they build the damn thing.
You ever watch Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Not to go on a tangent, but I got to.
Yeah.
Watch it all the time. My favorite person to hate on Shark Tank is the person who doesn't have any proof of sales. You know, Mark Cuban or one of those guys say, all right, well, how much have you sold so far? Oh, we're still in product development. It's like, no.
Right.
No.
But that's different because they're going for investment money. What I'm talking about is like selling to a consumer.
Yeah, I'm talking about before you go to an investment, you should sell to a consumer first.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You should have sales before going to raise capital.
Yeah.
That's what all these VCs are telling us. You know what I mean?
And you got to. I wouldn't put my money in if you weren't already making money. So
no.
That's, Come on,
gamble.
Guys. Who do we have next?
Okay. Well, after Paul, I think this was the same day we interviewed Jessica, who came down. Good friend. Shout out to Jessica. I am hosting her event she's putting on January 31st, end of this month.
Nice.
If anyone listening to this, watching live, wants to attend, hit me up. I'll send you a link. Really great networking. I mean, the organ. Man, I'm just my Perrier is just coming up to fight. Is fighting back. What was I saying? Is
her event on the 31st?
Her event in her events have really great networking. I've met governors of the, I've met politicians. Wow. I've met some of the top tier entrepreneurs, and her events really are top notch. There's a lot of networking type events. She runs hers kind of almost like a summit. It's almost like they have speakers and then there's networking with it. So you go, You learn stuff. I've spoken at one of her events, and then this next one is actually about my favorite topic ever, which is consistency. So I'll be hosting that. Shout out Jessica. Everyone go listen to her episode now.
Definitely a great episode. Fun person too. I think a lot of people, I'm all about personalities, but some people just come in here and light the room up.
Yeah, she's got such big energy.
Yeah.
Great energy.
Shout out
she's
to you.
Awesome. Yeah. Man, we're like looking. Julius and I are looking down. We're like, okay, well, we got a time limit here because we got a guest coming in here shortly.
Carl Chin, the Prism Light Pod. Shout out to you. I learned so much on that because that was a topic You
really jumped there. You totally jumped.
Yeah, I did. I'm jumping.
Oh, okay.
I'm just jumping in now at this point.
I mean, dude, you skipped a Vaughn.
I'm not skipping anybody.
Okay. We just want to talk about Carl. Carl is an awesome, dude, his I wish I could just sit down with him for 3 hours and just pick his brain because he's got so much.
Really smart guy.
Yeah.
And
very successful.
Very,
very successful, and very much downplays his success.
I just like guys who are opposite smart of me, and I can just tell that guy's nothing in his brain is going on in my
I've
brain.
gone cross-eyed. That's those types of people.
Exactly.
Right.
And just listening to him talk is like, wow, he's making a lot of sense, and I've never thought of this. I feel like I did that for an hour.
Yeah. Guys had, I think, $100 million exit in his business. Yeah. One of his companies.
I think 2 successful exits, yeah.
Mentored many students here in Denver. He's taken on, I don't know the number, I can't remember, but it's pretty darn high of the amount of interns that he's brought through his companies. And I actually met him at Metro State University, and we were both invited there to go collaborate with to make suggestions for the marketing department.
Oh, okay.
So it was cool that it was interesting because it was I went to that university and now they're having me back to help with their curriculum. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's way cool, man.
And
shout out Roadrunners.
Puts me in the same room as Carl Chen. Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Spent some time over at that campus.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to skip anybody.
Well, I mean, we've had JV on. Love JV. Like, I just always such a fun, he's just going to be a regular guest.
Yeah. You guys get used to JV. Yeah.
He's dude, he has so
cool.
The driest humor
I love it.
Anybody. Like, the darkest, driest humor. Here's this dude, his business is Conscious Millionaire, and he works with conscious entrepreneurs and people who are giving back and have a business built with a purpose.
Yeah.
His clients are business owners like Ben Higgins. Those are his clients. And then here's JV. If you really get to know him and we've done dinners and stuff like that, dude, he is so funny. Like,
I want to go to JV. If you're listening, we got to go to dinner. I'm signing up for that one.
He loves music. He just goes to concerts all the time by himself. Just go. Yeah. He's like, I was talking to him actually, I think it was when he was here last. He was like, oh yeah, I went to a heavy metal concert back, and then I was at a jazz concert the night before. He's like, he just hits every genre and just like, he's a young hip dude.
He's that guy guy at the bar that you just like have a quick conversation with, so you think, and then next thing you know, it's 3 hours later, and you're like, well, what are you doing after this? He's that guy. Totally.
Definitely. Yeah, he's a great guy. Always stuff to learn from him. We'll definitely have him as a speaker at our conference.
For sure.
So
just a lot of value from that guy. Yeah. I learned so much from him, even about podcasting alone. Just podcasting, the guy's knowledge of wealth right there.
Yeah. And him going through that experience that you hear for many people is, made the $1 million, had the big house, nice car, found himself deeply dissatisfied with that.
Yeah.
So
goes to show you it's not just the money.
Not just about the money. It's about purpose behind it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We're getting so close on time. We're getting so close on this time.
Should we just do a podcast behind the podcast part 2? Number 5, part 2.
We could.
Got a lot to catch up on. We could probably
I don't want to skip anybody, but
no one says we have to do it every 10 episodes.
No, I mean, we make our own rules.
Yeah.
Make our own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're our own bosses.
That's right.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean we're running short on time here, but man, we're just gonna have to do another one because we have Joel Comm come through here.
Yeah.
Joel Comm is an internet marketing legend. People around the world know Joel Comm, and for many reasons. One, he created the iFart app. I mean, we're just gonna he created one of the most viral apps in the world.
And the cash.
Was iFart. Huh? You think it'd be like Save the Dogs app.
I Love Puppy app or something.
I Love Kitty Cats memes app. Like, why wouldn't that hit it? No, iFart. On The Daily Show, CNN, Fox News, you name it.
The new whoopee cushion.
Yeah. Oh.
He revolutionized the whoopee cushion.
Wow. But he's done a lot more than that.
I know, right? That's probably it.
I mean, he's written multiple books on social media, and such a genuine, humble guy. He's actually kind of an introvert when you really break it down. Like, I'm kind of the same way. It's like, people see me as outgoing. Same with him, would see him as like that. But at the end of the day, kind of like very introverted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we all probably hang out.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely an introvert.
Yeah, but great guy. I bought his books for my family for Christmas.
Did you?
And, it's cool, like, the fact that we get to do this and these really high-level people. I just shot him a text. I'm like, got my parents up on your material for the holidays and,
Did you get you got the cash app or the cash button, right?
Yeah.
The cha-ching button?
Yeah, I did get away with that.
Yeah, like the Staples, the easy button, he came up with the cha-ching button.
Yeah, cha-ching.
Which is, again, genius. Just freaking genius. Shout out to you, Joel.
Shout out to you, Joel. You're awesome, man. Honestly, one of the most challenging shifts I've made was from consuming his stuff. And this was actually from watching him and learning from him at Social Media Day Denver, which him and I both spoke at. And it's the fun formula. It's like, gotta play more with your day. Have fun more with your day, you know. We talk about that creativity. That creativity comes from childish flow and energy.
I was going to say that, I think that might have been, I hate to just like do this, but that was a really good damn conversation you two had. I've listened to that podcast, I think twice now by myself. Just because, I mean, first off, just a good conversation, you know, from a producer standpoint. Just really good conversation. Like two guys that seemed like they would have known each other forever were in the studio that day. But no, you guys, you know, it's not the case. So that was just really interesting to me how hard you guys kind of clicked on that. And then the stuff that he was just saying, like, so spot on. I'm so 100% behind. I mean, I can't really just pull one out of my head right now, but I'll just post some clips maybe after this. But there were so many things that he was just saying. It's like, yeah, exactly, Joel. Like, probably everything. I just felt like he was preaching. I just want to stand behind him and just be like, somebody listen to this. Like,
yeah.
You know, so much shit.
Yeah, well, dude, he's been around the block from, like, catching on to the wave of the internet boom very, very early adopter. One of the first. Yeah. To build a website and monetize websites, you know. Yahoo Games was a byproduct of Joel. Yeah. It's like,
yeah, there's so much of that.
This is the funny thing about him is like, it's like, what haven't you done, bro? Like, what have you not done? Did like his own like reality TV show, internet show. Yep. Has one of the top podcasts on cryptocurrency. Yeah. He's not like a top cryptocurrency expert compared to the other people out there. I mean, he's definitely a crypto expert, but still, it's like the guy just plays with stuff and then it just turns into this magical like business that just...
Same with the podcast. You know, like he literally did that to our podcast. He came in here with that same energy and like by the end of the way you guys were just talking, it was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
You guys were just...
Poor guy was even sick. He was in here too.
Yeah. Like there was jokes in there I was thinking about cutting out and I was like, nope, just let these guys go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I highly suggest... I might listen to that on the way home actually.
Yeah, it was really good. It was. We got to have him. He said he'd come back again because we didn't even get into cryptocurrency and some of that stuff. No, really. It was down here, so we'll do it again. I'll get you guys linked up so you can schedule it. Boom. That was how I felt about Dave also. Dave Tabor was also one of those guys.
Yeah,
he was like,
Dave.
he was a Denver Broncos. He was the mascot. Like his story behind that was so cool. I've listened to that so many times.
You guys got to listen to that. You got to wait for it though, but that's a really unique story.
Yeah.
Perseverance though, man. You just got to keep pushing. Got to keep pushing and put yourself in the right position.
Yeah. He was a little clammed in the beginning. I was able to pull some juice out of him, but there's some stuff that you could tell he was a little reserved about talking about, which, you know.
To each his own.
To each his own. And so, like, you can tell Dave is from a different era. Like, he is like a businessman. You know what I mean?
Head of the Chamber of Commerce. I mean,
that
he deals with a lot of that business stuff, and even his podcast. I actually had the pleasure of going to go see his podcast live.
That's right, you did.
I went and checked him out, and that was fun. That was interesting to see him. You know, see him. It
was a cannabis company, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was with a cannabis.
We've had no cannabis companies on the show yet. I don't know how that. No, I don't know how that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, I can change that.
There's I mean, their businesses. You know. Anyways.
But no, Dave Tabor though, I mean, really what hit home for me was his story of just having a family and, you know, being a professional, starting his own business and everything. And I thought that was really, you know, spot on to me because he had a kid about the same age and he's just talking about that work-life balance that, you know, I deal with every day. And to somebody who persevered through it, you know, we were talking about speed bumps or, you know, getting over that brain fart.
Just pull like a Nancy Pelosi there, like. Well.
Oh, jeez, call me a Nancy Pelosi. So, but yeah, just, you know, getting over adversity. That's the word. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah, okay. Getting over adversity.
Well, we're gonna have to do part 2 of this because, dude, we just did an hour. So we have a lot to talk about, and we still didn't even get through to Summer, to Yvonne.
Yeah.
to Chris, to Carrie. To, we've got a couple more in there, but we'll do a part 2 of this because we got our next guest running in here. Anything you want, you're in front of the mic. What do you want to share?
I'll share it on
Anything
part 2.
else you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, stay tuned for part 2.
Okay, we'll probably do it shortly. We won't have to wait 10 episodes. We got too much to talk about here.
But no, in the meantime, I really just want to say we appreciate you. Like, seriously, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for following. Thank you for listening. I was looking at our analytics, I think yesterday, and I see you guys out there, and I really appreciate it. Keep soaking up this knowledge, this valuable information that we're trying to bring to you, and we'll keep our part consistent. We'll keep on plugging on
social.
Yeah, and you guys
send
keep
us
on
your guests that you recommend.
Your guests. Send me your ears.
Send me your money. Wait,
that's what I sound like. Send me your ears. No.
What is that from?
That's like old colonial talk. No, not colonial. I don't know. Iron Age, whatever that time was. I don't know. There we go.
Oh, also, I'm just going to add this. I'm just going to plug this because it's important. And, if you're sitting there, whether you're a nonprofit or you're a business, you've been around 20 years, or you're a startup company, you cannot be successful if you're not reaching the right people. Right? Would you agree with that?
Facts.
Reach. And you're not staying in front of them. You're not consistently showing up. Okay? These are things that our partners help out with. Okay? Over at Active Blogs. So if you, business owner, entrepreneur, marketer, future professional, feel like you have stalled, underperforming, B2B content initiatives.
Lackluster content. Let's speak on that.
Got lackluster content.
Let's be honest, guys.
It's not getting out there. Your brand is not being amplified the right way. And, you also know that you need to be using LinkedIn with that as well, because, if you really break it down, like I just shared a post about Gary Vaynerchuk, right, earlier today. Mm-hmm. He's even on this, finally, LinkedIn is where the reach is. Like, LinkedIn organic is phenomenal right now, and it may not be forever. So jump on the opportunity. If you need help with this, go to activeblogs.com. Again, activeblogs.com, and definitely check out the resources that we have there for you.
Yeah. Do it now. Don't wait.
Do it now. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, give us a shout on social media too. Love to hear from you guys.
Tell your friend, tell your mom, tell your boss about this show.
Yeah, tell that boss.
Yeah, say, hey, I was listening to Mile High Mentors podcast.
He'd be like, Mile High Mentors, what's that?
And now you got your in. See what we just did there?
Plugged?
And
the show?
So you didn't see what we just did there.
No, I went way over my head.
We're helping the listener get their foot in the door with their boss, helping them break through the noise.
Oh, I see. I'm on.
Full circle. Full circle.
We're
right
on
there.
it. Guys, love you. Thank you so much for listening in. We'll see you on the next one.